We're the America Devils, and we are recapping Manchester United's 0-0 draw against the City Blues. Frustrating performance, frustrating result for United at Old Trafford against their city rivals. United, not in the finest form, all things considered, obviously. Nottingham Forest, that was a tough result. I think we deserve more than a loss today. I think the draw is about fair. I think we edged them slightly, but United, once again, not good enough in the final third. Cutting edge, not quite there. We didn't create a ton of chances, but the chances that we did create, a couple of them. Garnacho had a good one, a couple in late in the second half, but not a showboating, knock-around, classic derby by any means. Low XG from both sides, but all things considered, a clean sheet, which have been a rarity for Manchester United this season. Obviously, City is not the City they were last year, but we'll take it. It's a point, and it builds on to the big game, the game of games, the only games that matter, which is Bilbao or bust, baby, on Thursday, leg one against Lyon. That's going to be a big one down in France. But, sir, how you feeling after this draw against City at home, 0-0, Borefest?
We all love kicking a blue here at the America Red Devils, but that wasn't quite, it didn't have the spit and fire, the grit and spit a derby deserves. But both these teams are kind of a little wayward this season. For United, I'm reframing the rest of this. I'm usually the glass half empty guy. I'm usually fired, mad. What the hell? Not good enough for Manchester United. We know it's not good enough for Manchester United. We loaned out our attack. We loaned out 3 attackers. We had Rashford, Sancho, Anthony. We have no options up front. So if in January you get rid of 3 options for the manager and you can't score goals, like I did say, where are the goals going to come from? Didn't bring any real attackers into this team. Now all of a sudden we're pounding the table like we're pissed that we're not scoring goals. Anthony could help. He'd be an option off the bench. Rashford probably would help in that regard. But we kind of just have to finish the season as is. So looking through that lens of like where we are with this team, with Zirkzee and Garnacho just out of form and no other options to come off the bench, it wasn't a bad performance. We out XG City at home. We're 13th in the league. We're playing the 3rd place team, the 5th place team. We're getting clean sheets. We're getting draws. And we're going on to play Lyon. So if we're looking like this against City and Nottingham Forest, we got to sort out the scoring issue. I mean, it's comical. Like I tweeted out we couldn't finish the sandwich. I think that's true at the time. Like, where are the goals going to come from? You have to score if you want to win Europa League. Based on kind of what we've seen, we are not going to be scoring. I'm like flabbergasted. Højlund 1 shot on target in the last 5 games in the league. It's pretty. Like the attacking stats are scary, but overall United have been playing horrible. So I'm kind of optimistic with these draws. And if we could get our scoring boots on, or Garnacho could break the drought, or Højlund could break the drought, we'd be well on the way to probably the finals in Bilbao. So it's really about the attack. We can hit them with a club all day and say they're not good enough for Manchester United. I think it's clear, but that's going to be addressed in the summer. Let's hope we can get some form so we can go on and win Europa League, because I want Champions League football next season.
We want something to celebrate. We want something to root for at the end of the season, and a Europa League final would be exactly that. Hey, headed into international break, United was playing decently, all things considered. We were worried that we'd come out playing the opposite. We've seen that so many times out of this Manchester United side. So the fact that we put together 2 performances, now look at it on paper, a loss and a draw doesn't
out
feel
XG,
great. Though. No, like you said, we out XG'd Forest, even though we lost to them after other than that first opening 5 minutes when Alonga cooked us, we were better than the remaining 85. And today, pretty close game, but once again, we did out XG them. We had a couple chances where we could have easily gotten the win. They could have gotten it as well. It's encouraging because we know this team doesn't have goals, but this team is also leaking goals everywhere that you go and not maintaining possession and not controlling games. So today, last week was encouraging. We just have to keep the momentum going into the big match. It's all about Europa League. It's all about the quarterfinal goals. I think it'll be easier to score against a Lyon because we can get behind them in a way that we can against a City or a Forest.
I don't think it's going to be easy. We had trouble scoring.
I didn't say easy.
Sociedad,
It'll be easier.
It's
easier. We still scored 4 goals. When was the last time we scored 4 goals other than against a Leicester? So we got to still figure out the goals.
There was a red card. The goals came after it, but like away at Sociedad, we had trouble scoring. Like we did get the Zirkzee. Like this team has trouble scoring. Like watching Nottingham Forest and City.
I'm not arguing that we have trouble scoring.
Nottingham Forest was more encouraging we had everything but the finish than the low block Man City. This City game is giving me less confidence going into Lyon away. Lyon at home could be a different story. We get a big call, like a penalty or Bruno free kick. This is all, Bruno Fernandes are bust right now, this team. And that's not a good strategy because he's been cold. He got hot. Now, after international break, he hasn't found the back of the net or that killer pass to get one of these numpties to score. And we're going to need that against Lyon. Like you said, it should be easier, but the attack for United, you just have to call out the fact we loaned out all of our attackers and brought nobody in. And then you look at what we got. And if that's the only issue at the moment, and we're already talking about trying to push on to the final Europa League, it isn't that bad. But what do you really expect about a 13th place? We expect a 13th place United to beat Nottingham Forest. We expect a 13th place United with no attack to beat Man City.
Of course.
Like,
it's what the fans want.
I know, but like, that's not a rational,
No, of course,
objective view of
they
where
always
we
rational?
are as a, like, if this was August 18th and the third game of the year, I would agree, but we are post January. The attack has been neutered. We don't have options other than kids on the bench. And we're kind of in this malaise of where we are. So I'm taking the glass half full with the draw against City and encouraging performance against Forest. But I will be pissed if we cannot beat Lyon. If you can't score against a Lyon, that to me is a bridge too far. Even Zirkzee can score against Lyon, from my opinion.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like Højlund's been so toothless in the league, huge drought, but he has had his boots on in Europa League. We need him to step up, and this is a team that you can get by now. The thing about Lyon is they are dangerous. They create a lot of chances. They're super direct. They've got a lot of pace, and they've got goal-scoring boots all over. The exact opposite that United has. But so the problems were everywhere a couple months ago. Problems still exist, but the fact that we are tightening up the midfield, we look more compact, more in control from the defensive standpoint. Still can't play at the back. O'Donnell looks like completely lost. He's got to get shipped in the summer. But that being said, it's going to be an opportunity for us to rise to the occasion because, like you said, these are good performances. The last two games in the league, they are, considering where we're at. Oh, what, you said it. Now I say you laugh.
No.
Good performances considering that we're 13th place and we were in a relegation fight 2 weeks ago.
I was laughing at the fact that you and me are going to like shine up these performances and then get all of our hopes up for Lyon and just get a swift kick in the nuts. That's probably what we're going to get away in France. So look, let's hope we can build on these encouraging performances in Europe. Because it's all we got. And after that, it's on to the summer. Everybody enjoy their summer break. Quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Red Devils, you like the Muppet Take. Please check out our YouTube channel. If you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, get over, subscribe, American Red Devils on YouTube. Also like and comment below our videos. It helps the algorithm pick us up and show us to more Manchester United fans throughout the world. Please check it out. And also, if you're interested in supporting the podcast, going the extra mile, check out our Patreon page. We have tons of benefits. Extra special Patreon episode every single month. Tons of members, over 100 Patreon strong. Check it out. Support the pod. Also, check out our store. We got scarves, we got stickers, we got shirts, we got beanies. Everything you need to support the greatest club in the world. And also check out our blog. We have great blog articles covering everything from the fan protests to the summer transfer news. Sir, tell me about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews, the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself, and we're still giving away free merch. I'm just in the process of doing a big merch order. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear, send it right to your door anywhere in the world. We mean it, anywhere in the world, all around. Keep those 5-star reviews coming. We couldn't do it without you. So let's get into this game. Manchester United 0. Manchester City 0. Thriller.
All right, jumping in, breaking it down. Starting 11, we had Onana in net. Mazraoui playing center back.
That's that full.
Maguire and Euro. Oh, he's Onana all day. Casemiro, Ugarte, Dogu, Delo. We had Garnacho, Højlund, and Bruno Fernandes up front. What'd you make of this?
I mean, I was encouraged that we had like almost a full set defensive back five, 2 wing backs in the preferred position.
Not Maz, though.
Yeah, but Maz plays pretty well, the back three. Sorry, give me a second. Don't yuck all my yums.
You can't say we have a full back three when we have someone playing out of, he's not a center back, I'm just saying.
Take it easy, brother. Casemiro and Ugarte doing the double hold position. That's the defensive lineup that you saw against Forest. I hope we don't see that against Lyon, but you know what? It makes sense given the attacking prowess that City has. You see Zirkzee. I have no problem with this. I do like Bruno deeper, but he's been pushing him farther up. What did you think when you saw this 11?
Casemiro Ugarte's got to die. It doesn't work. It's not happening. It's like Bruno should be playing there. this team post-international break, pushing Bruno up the field, like we need him in the midfield. It sucks. It's the truth. We need him in the midfield. Mason Mount should come in.
Yep. Push him up forward.
Or you should put Mount in the two. Like either way, the Casemiro Ugarte, you see it. It's not doing much for us. It's not going to win us the game. It's a liability. And Ugarte hasn't really found his boots 100% in that position. And then playing next to Casemiro is more of a liability. I get it. But it also means we're playing more defensive. If you look at Amram, this too isn't free flowing as it should be in his system. And actually, we're sitting back more when we're playing Casemiro Ugarte. And that's what we did today against Man City. But, sir, how do we come out?
Let's get into that game, sir. It was a cagey affair coming into the opening part of the first half. Neither team was very sharp. And I think the first half was having not much of a cutting edge all around, but there was a good chance in the 20th minute, grand chance for Garnacho. He just found himself basically at the far post with a free header, but he didn't connect right. Chance is gone. There were a couple of these chances coming over the top.
No, this is
a huge chance.
This one deserves to get our boy cooked here because if you see it,
it's got to be a goal.
He went header, but it has to be left foot. This was a perfect cross. It was a great position. Has to be a goal, and this just shows you he's out of form. He's out of form, and it's difficult to see him struggling. He is struggling, but he does have pace. He is trying. There is effort. Amram does want to see him improve, but he just doesn't have that lethal final ball or final shot. It's a little wayward from Garnacho. He's lashing at it. You can tell he's just out of form and frustrated, but everybody in the attack is.
I feel like he's doing everything else really well, though. I thought today he showed some really encouraging signs, dribbling through the middle of the pitch. He was holding the ball up well. He was tracking back
the final
well.
Product,
The final third, everyone looks off. He looks especially off, but I think he's an encouraging player because he's getting in his right positions. That will come. I think the goals will come. It's just that we've had an over-reliance on these youngsters, and it's running them into the ground. In a first half, devoid of really good chances. The other major one that happened was towards the end of the first half. Gundogan had a really dangerous chance in the box. He dragged just wide. There were a couple of these opportunities. They had this kind of edge of the shot box. They ended up going right to Onana, but there was that late chance to Gundogan that was threatening, sir. But that was basically all she wrote in the first half. Wasn't a big event. Anything you think the manager would have said going into the second half, given how lackluster certain parts were?
Look, United need to stick with it. I felt like we had the better, jab, so to speak. We didn't score, but I felt like throughout the whole game, we were getting at them better. The XG and the X threat would show that. We were playing much more conservative from a defensive perspective. That's not kind of what Amram was brought in to do. And again, that wasn't what Ten Hag was brought in to do. So we're seeing this, again, managers sort of getting conservative to stave off embarrassment, maybe not going for the win as much because to your point about Garnacho, once you get rid of Antony, and the Antony loan really pissed me off because now you're just playing Garnacho every single game and he's out of form, and that's how you ruin youngsters. And look, he's getting killed on the socials. I get it. The final product hasn't been great, but you need to have someone to switch it up out on the right. You need to have Antony in there, and thank God Mount's coming back, but Garnacho needs a blow, right? And I feel like when you get rid of Rashford, then it's Zirkzee, and then those guys are going to get ruined. You need to have options, and by doing the business in January, we've really hurt this team, and it's really ruining Garnacho. When you're playing a young player who's out of form over and over and over again, it can be detrimental to them.
Certainly can, and that's why they have to be protected at the same time. He's like the only actual pure play winger we have left with a mod going down, so that is all biting us in the backside, sir. The second half, like you said, it was better, but still relatively dull and cagey. I thought United was getting into dangerous positions, like on the break. It's just that we didn't often make the right pass, or someone shot when they should have done that kind of square ball. But they had a big chance early on in that second half, 48th minute. City's probably their chance of the game. The ball fell really well to Foden, also near our back post, but he got it all wrong. But this probably should have been a goal for them.
Yeah, but Phil Foden is,
player of the year.
Don't rate him.
Player of the year.
Hey, player of the year. Yeah, can't play for England. Can't score against United. So I don't really get it. 58th minute sub, Lindelof for Maguire. That's exactly who we want to see out there.
I mean, hopefully that's to rest him and not an injury, because we do need him against Lyon in a big way. He'd be super useful. DeLitt did not make the squad. Apparently, he picked up an injury. I'm hoping we're resting him because I think he's been a really solid player since he's been brought on. Anyway, let's get back to this game. 69th minute, minute, Mamouche had a really good driven volley right at Onana. He parried it decently enough. Subs came on, 71st minute. I like this. Mount's coming on early and earlier. Zirkzee and Mount for Højlund and Ugarte. Those were probably the right subs. Ugarte had a decent volley that went wide from the edge of the box. And then probably like the last big chance for United, 77th minute. Nice football. Garnacho cuts in well. Found Zirkzee, and he did like a first-time shot that was well saved by Ederson.
Oh, this is a great opportunity. Like Zirkzee did a lot with that. I credit to him. It was like nothing. He did a lot to it. Mount, it bounced weird. He did get a volley. It was blocked. Nice flurry for United. Like I said, I think we got the better jabs in overall, but that was all she wrote. 0-0 at home. Everybody's kind of like screaming at United. No, they're gutless. I'm like,
Really?
The overwhelming negative response to this game as United fans, just because the player, like from Roy Keane, they weren't going for it. They didn't have the intention to win the game. A lot of friendliness between the players after the game. We're not seeing a frustration with this draw. And seeing United in 13th, I can, trying to steel man the harsh take on this game, it makes sense. Like United are in 13th. This is a derby game. You should be going for it. You should be kind of like putting studs into somebody. You should be giving your all for this game, and you shouldn't be happy with a draw at home, right? We should be trying to do the double. Like why wouldn't we want to do the double against Man City because we're 13th and like you can give the fans something. It does feel a little soulless, I do agree with that. There wasn't the intensity. We weren't pushing in waves at the end. Maybe we're all thinking about Lyon and maybe laying off the gas. That's what this felt like. It felt like two teams that are having tough years that are okay with just getting out of this game unscathed in the draw.
Yeah, neither team wanted to lose. And going into this game, I thought they'd make more subs. I thought Bruno would get yoinked. And I thought Maz might get yoinked. And those substitutions did not happen. I think in terms of the intensity, you did see it. But you're also saying, I think, much higher level. That's the
antithesis of a derby.
You're seeing much higher level of effort than we saw 3 months ago when this manager came in. These players looked like they had no idea how to run. So I agree, but it's all about Thursday. This game doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like the whole not wanting to win in a derby doesn't add up. I do agree with that.
Who says we didn't want to win?
Sir, this performance, we sat back. We didn't go for, it was not, I don't look at this badge and get fired up by the performance that was laid out there today by United.
Neither do I.
Right? We sat back against City, let them have the ball in our house. We tried to counter them. We looked like we couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. We couldn't finish a sandwich. That's the terminology I'm going with. United weren't even going to come close to scoring. I felt like the crowd wasn't getting into it at the end. United wasn't pushing on and then getting the crowd into the game and really going and taking to City. That's what you would expect from a derby. I would expect United to have the impetus to go at our rivals in our house and take it to them and have a little more to show probably in the last 20 minutes of the match. We did not have that. We did not see that. And, it says a lot about where these two clubs are at the moment.
I think it was a dull affair for a derby. I think it makes sense given the context of things, but I also think United needs to get real. Where are we at, bro? We're in 13th place, and now
I think it's
turning
a positive,
the tide in this. No, I know people are never happy unless we're winning. I want to win this game, and I want us to fight like we fought against Arsenal, where we fought against City earlier in the season when we got that huge win with 2 late goals and beat them in their house. But at the same time, it's I'm a realist. Be Jesus, this season has been a nightmare. And we had a clean sheet against City. We edged them on XG, and we have a huge game on Thursday. Now it's all about that. So if we go out there and lay a duck in Lyon, then shame on me.
But we do that. So this
probably
team,
will. And we probably will.
This team, when we're not kind of hitting on all cylinders, and then we kind of mentally try to save it up, we always get stomped. I remember United have done this before with Europa League. We're hey, we're maybe taking our foot off the gas, and then we're going for this game. We usually just get just destroyed.
And we might.
And getting in the stat sheets, 13 shots for United to City's 9. They had more on target. They had 5 to our 2. They had more of the ball, 59% to our 41. We did have more corners than them. When is United going to look like we can score from a corner ever? I was watching all the corner opportunities we had.
Today.
We looked like we're never going to score it from a corner. That's arguably what we need. That's a little more of the, hey, De Ligt looks dangerous from corners. He's got some dog in him. He's got some grit. It's a derby. That's little of what we're looking for. But what do we know? Let's check in with the main man, the manager, Ruben Amorim, sir, he's going to bring the
Still
Guardians.
didn't look like scoring a goal.
Yeah, I think again we created some chances. The game was completely different from Nottingham, of course, against a different opponent, but we had the same lack of goal. We create situations. Sometimes we did it well, and Ederson was there. So it's really important to score goals to win football matches.
Hi, Ruben. You didn't want to come in midway through the season. Are we now, because you did come in obviously midway through the season, are we now seeing the benefits of you working these players for longer? Do you think there'll be a benefit for next season because of that, even if not ideal in the moment?
In the moment, it's still really hard every day. But of course, you can imagine that next season is going to be so much different. That's why I'm always saying that I'm in the rush. So because we are suffering a lot, everybody here is suffering a lot with all these changes, and we have to show something in the next year. So right away. If not, I have the feeling that all this that is happening in this moment, we are not taking advantage. So I think that is important thing. In the good days, you think like that. It was important to come season, to work with the players, to improve the players as soon as possible, to start the next season with the better idea what we want. So and today was that day that we played.
I mean, he's getting a little word salad here, but that was a weird answer to the question of like, we expect you to see better. The answer is like, yes, next year we're going to be better. Not like it is horribly hard right now. Like we are so bad. Man, like training must be brutal under Amorim.
There's still some bluffers to push out of the squad. I mean, Luke Shaw, like on the side, he was on the sideline today, made the squad today, did not look in shape. Did not look in shape.
Oh,
I mean, that
my God. I was like, I could see he looks out of shape
I'm
from
not
the
in shape, but like he gets paid a shit ton of
Dude,
money.
he
does not look in shape.
No, he is.
He does not look in shape, right?
From like the
That's why he's frustrated. He's
But
still
by the
dealing with
way,
bluffer. He's still dealing with all these bluffers, bro.
No,
It's
but
like,
no, but
it's
no,
like, I had to give away my whole
Okay.
attack because they didn't want to play for me because I asked them to run.
I'm very glad you brought up Luke Shaw because
I couldn't believe it. I actually
by
couldn't
the way,
believe it.
like, so you know when you have the camera from like the high angle where it's like very far away, and you can see him on the touchline, I could tell he was not in shape from the far camera. That is not a good look. It's not like a bad close up or a bad photo. From like literally like
training, they had him,
50
like,
yards
warm-ups.
away, I could be like, that guy looks like he has the meat sweats. Like
Takes one to
honestly,
know one. Takes one to
like
know
it's.
one. No, it was crazy. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, that's Luke Shaw.
And
gonna get
Amorim,
fucking injured again.
here's the deal.
That's
Every
why he said
every manager before Amorim would have put Luke Shaw in this game today because as soon as he's available, right in the team.
Yep.
And Amram's like, not on my watch. That tiramisu, that's got to go. Like, get on the scale, Luke Shaw. Like, honestly, like I was actually proud that Amorim did not bring him on today because he looked not ready to go, and that's why he's injured all the time. It's a lack of discipline. Another guy signed a big deal at United, not worried about it, not putting in the effort, not at a professional level. If you could tell that, I mean, like, great point on Luke Shaw. Let's get into some.
I was sure you'd bring it up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit.
He looked.
That's as big as I've ever seen him.
No, it's you know.
Sure, come on.
Hey, AARD like Steve, sir. I'm not getting paid a lot of money. I don't have people cooking me food. I'm sure if I was at Carrington, I could get the weight down. XG 1.06 to City's 0.63, but again, United were very, very compact. As you can see here, like look at the average starting line for our center backs. We were just pinned back. Garnacho was the outlet up front. But that's not how we want to play. That's not why Aaron was brought in, but it was a 0-0 draw. We move on to Lyon. We win big there. Everyone will forget about this game, and let's move on. Getting into some fan questions at D_Cole18. Felt like City played with us, played us with kid gloves, and never got out of first gear. We know this season, other than the Europa League, is a wash. I'd really like Ruben just to throw all the kids out for the last 7 games and get next year's players blooded and start phasing out those who won't be here. That's a great point. Like, the league doesn't matter, right?
No, the league doesn't matter now. I think it matters for keeping form going in the Europa League chase, because that's what it's all about, and you can't just get form in Europe. So I think it's important in that capacity. But I do agree, like, there's certain players who are going to be a part of next year, but you want to find that balance because you don't want to start throwing them in a situation where they're not going to succeed. Then it hits their fucking self-confidence, which is hugely important in football. I just think it's a real delicate balance. Fergie knew it better than anybody. So you got to walk that line. But some of them look ready. Like Amos, I want to see him play more. Seko Kone, he's ready, but probably not quite. It's getting there. I don't know.
We're not getting to quite right off territory. I think these 2 games were important pre-Europa League. And then like post, you're going to see more rotation against other squads. At Randy Scrandy L, we need upgrades so bad. Starting to see some things that look like patterns of play and ideas coming together. Problem is we have so many weak links that will never look right until we bin them off. This summer can't start soon enough. Amram has one good chance. That's it. And it's true. Amram talked about it in the press conference. We just covered it. He has to start next season, and it's got to like this, the formation that he's playing, it's
What?
3-4-3. It's got to look good starting in August, or he's gone. And
He's gone? He's gone? We're getting rid of him already?
I'm not saying that's just if we come out of this summer and we go into next summer and we're going to be a 10th in the league with this shit, there's no way he survives. There's no way he survives. There's no way. There's no way. I don't write the rules. I knew Ten Hag that if we had a horrible season last year, and if he started the season and we didn't look like a different United, like he was going to get shit canned, and he did. And that's just the reality is going to be like Amram does not get another year at 15th in the league. Like there's no way. That's just not going to happen.
10th is different than 15th. I think as he finishes
10th is
I think 10th would be acceptable.
7th and like good football. 7th and like you're seeing the system
I think
work.
people are doomed for like the same pattern over and over again. If the manager's been here for 5 months and we're already talking about him getting one summer and then he's fucking shit canned. I just think
Amram's saying himself, for the record, in the interview, he's saying he doesn't have time. And he's saying he needs to get it right. And he's saying how important it is. So if he gets it, and then Jim Ratcliffe said, we're in a rush.
I just think it's all
right.
relative
So then
about what to expect for next season.
I'm just saying kind of what I think the market is. Like I would agree with you that Amram probably needs at least 2 more seasons, no matter what. But I'm just saying that if we like this run that he's had has not been great. And that if he starts next year like this and we're just falling down the table, there's just nothing else. They're going to be, hey, 3-4-3 was a failure. We're going back to like Graham Potter ball. Like it's just going to be
because a lot of it will be dependent on like what happens with Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony. Can we sell those players?
Yes, of course.
To Europa League, that'll be huge. Right?
It's unfair, but Amram's saying himself. So I do believe there has to be some significant upgrade to the football we're playing. Like I have yet to see Amram ball. If you watch Sporting, we've yet to see really any significant football look like that.
Yeah, but he's been here for 5 months, and why would we expect that given like the semblance of the squad, the quality of the opposition? I think it's going to take time. I think people are.
You would think you'd see a little more. You'd see like a little more patterns of it.
I think you're starting to. I saw something in the last.
I think we're seeing something. We're seeing better chance creation. I don't know if we're seeing 3-4-3 is the way to go in the future that United should invest £1 billion in the squad for. But like the jury's out on the formation. But I do think we're seeing improvements and the additions have been better. At Yoni Boy, sirs, I'll take this point. We went from fear of losing bad at home to having good possession, tracking back, and defending great. We see that our biggest flaw is scoring goals, but either way, let's go United. Europa League, here we go. We can't wait. At you, Boaston, going out on a limb with a controversial take, we need an actionable striker. Like, big time. And even Amram made the comment as well, sir.
A couple.
And then we're going to end on this one. Jack actually went to the game, so I feel like his comment carries more weight. When you actually go to the game, you see with your own eyes. I think you actually see more. At United scores 2 toothless teams. In person, I thought Bruno and Garnacho were our best players with honorable mention to Cass. Attitude-wise, both Mount and Zirkzee brought some character. Cheers to all the ARD fam from Old Trafford. Shout out to Jack. Hope he enjoyed that one. 0-0.
Tough. Beautiful
it's still
day,
a derby
though.
day, and it was
day.
a beautiful day in Manchester. So, the fact you get up there, get to a game, that's awesome. So cheers to you, Jack. We hope you enjoyed it. Sir, that is it. That is the podcast. You like the American Devils?
Stay for the misery.
We are for fans by fans. It will eventually come good, sir. We're like, it's going to be the greatest comeback of all time.
Ever.
Hopefully, I'm not like 50.
You might be. You might be. Might be another decade before we're even like sniffing at the top.
I can't.
a couple more managers.
I'm like, Ruben Amram.
How long before we hire back David Moyes? That's when we've come full circle. Like David Moyes is crushing it by next year. I hope we give this manager time. I think he needs time. I think we can't do this chop change shit over and over again. But you're also right that like he's gonna be on a short leash because football fans are fickle and United fans are fickle.
So I could get United 15th in the league. Like they're not great, but you could
get them. I'm not sure you
15th.
could. I'm not sure you
I could literally just be like, go.
Yeah,
they could get 15th. This team, a billion
you
in.
overestimate your
They
ability.
could literally, like Bruno could be player coach and they could get 15th in the league. I just think like you got to start seeing something. All right, you like the American Devils? You like listening to this banter? AmericanDevils.store. Grab some merch. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Comment below. Let us know what you think about Ruben Amram. How much time he has, sir? Give us top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Brooklyn, New York, New York, Houston, Texas, Dublin, Ireland, Melbourne, Australia, Oslo, Norway, San Diego, California, and last but not least, Charlotte, North Carolina. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Big games coming thick and fast. We got Lyon, Newcastle, Lyon, and it's all about that game against Olympiacos Lyon, sir. It's a huge game. Can't wait for it. Sing the song, sir. Sing the song.
Ruben Amram.
He'll turn us around. Come on.
I'll bring the glory days again, sir. Let's go. Come on, you.
Bring the glory days again. We're working for the strength and it's in the resurrection.